My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. Notice: intellectual property theft is particularly egregious and equally unlawful where the sole inventor and creator of the intellectual property is the targeted individual. Erica Lorraine Spencer, subject to the unconstitutional and inhumane government system of gang stalking, otherwise referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices, because of which the intellectual property created by the targeted individual, who is, in fact, Erica Lorraine Spencer, as the intellectual property also proves, serves to establish via evidence and expose the existence of criminal surveillance and thus an inherent threat posed by the U.S. government and the civilian population sharing engagement in the unlawful system. Such evidence that includes all of the content created by Erica Lorraine Spencer, images, videos, audio, etc., belongs solely and entirely to Erica Lorraine Spencer only and is necessarily published online in order to protect her life, safety, and liberty as the targeted individual, who is also the intellectual property owner, no less protected from theft procured through targeting by a public entity. Theft of any intellectual property belonging to Erica Lorraine Spencer, which is necessarily committed while she, being both creator and inventor, remains oppressed by the public entity via criminal surveillance, is a criminal and inhumane means of infringement under all circumstances and not protected nor enforceable pursuant to any invalid or fraudulent acts of copyright, trademarks, patents, etc., including as it pertains to any ideas associated with or generated from the intellectual property or the intellectual property owner, Erica Lorraine Spencer, whether creative, business, or otherwise, nor does the intellectual property owner consent to any such means of infringement and theft. Erica Lorraine Spencer here. The following is an audio version of video evidence that is captured for purposes of mass distribution, which is why I am capturing it and sharing it on the podcast for evidentiary purposes and also to reveal the wealth of documentation that extends beyond what it is that I document on podcasts. Much of the video and images will be published onto the YouTube channel, the P.O.C, and it is also shared on the Google Drive. Again, this is for purposes of revealing what I remain subject to, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is a demonic system of state surveillance that the government is practicing in concert with the people of the state, and it should be known and well understood that for the government to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, this is a crime that is committed with a criminal purpose to threaten the life of an American citizen. This is to conspire to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen while engaging in a perpetual sex offense in concert with the people of the state. Alrighty, this is P.O.C. You'll see in my images the entity is stalking by plane while I am, that's Southwest Airlines first of all, number one, terrorists. Stalking when I am on Omnitrans yesterday, coming from the airport. Big picture is the same city 3 hours from now, and the fake sun is remaining over the same city. Big picture is also, this is the OVITT Family Community Library. Also, when I'm waking up at the bus stop and this fake sun is over Bethel Congregation, that's not what this is. And the entity is maintaining the fake sun when I'm at the ARCO gas station, that parking lot where the planes are not flying over by the library. They're flying over that parking lot while that fake sun is closer. It's over the church. That's the entity stalking with the fake sun. And this is what you're looking at here when I'm at the OVITT Family Community Library. And this is showing you the stalking conduct of an entity. The sun that's over the OVITT Family Community Library 3 hours from now is that which is placed for the purposes of gang stalking for everybody that works in that venue, everybody that goes inside of that venue. That also is so obsessed with me. They're gang stalking while it's being put all over the internet. All right, so this is a country that is aware that surveillance is underway. This is a country that's now being forced to engage in surveillance in front of everyone, in front of the world as I'm exposing it. And this is an entity that is engaging in that unlawful. It's unlawful while they do so. All right, so upon my enforcement of my rights and documenting it, the government, as I'm documenting them, engaging what is gang stalking me in plain view, is the government that's going to be prosecuted, and the government is acting with the people of the state. You are intentionally stalking 5YZF174, engaging in surveillance under a fake sun that is over the same entrance 3 hours from now at 10 a.m. Kelly Blacken, that's emptying the books from this locker at 9 a.m. is in doing so with regard to what is stalking me in the path on behalf of the government that's also stalking by commercial plane. It is not the sun that's going to be at the same entrance hours from now. And then also don't forget the evidence where it's over the city hall, which is behind this venue, the same Civic Plaza at 12:51 p.m. You are stalking. That's what you're looking at everybody doing. It's stalking. The entity is, in other words, engaging in surveillance together. That's not sunlight on the walls over here. All right, you're not in that environment, ignorant, engaged in that. And then you have what is the fake sun here. What is Southwest Airlines doing at 4:45 p.m. on video? Just like they are now, they're stalking it. At 4:45 p.m., it's on the opposite side of the same entrance of the OVITT Family Community Library. This is P.O.C. This is the prosecution of terrorists such as Southwest Airlines, where the U.S. government maintains businesses who share in criminal surveillance and furtherance of murdering American citizens. And the P.O.C. has provided evidence of a U.S. government that's targeting an American citizen, doing it in their face. That's how barbaric the United States government is, and how barbaric the civilian population is. Paul Leon's being removed from office, okay? Providing its criminal expenditures, and that's why he's being removed for criminal activity. All right, these are demons that are stalking while they're using their vehicles under a fake sun. You're not ignorantly doing that. This is absurdity with regard to this fake sun business. Remember, it's still here. This is where it's at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. What are they sitting in on the inside of the venue of the library? This is what's happening in the middle. This is the same positioning of engineer light in the afternoon when then it's creeping into the building. These demons are ignorant, and I'm prosecuting the ignorant that are typically engaging in the pattern of conduct with the absence of evidence, defaming American citizens, murdering them, stealing from them, stealing their identity, and then maintaining a narrative as though the gang stalking police officers are conducting an investigation. There is no such investigation. This is P.O.C. It is currently 7:16 a.m. at Family Community Library. Good morning.
Hi, how are you? Good morning.
I'm fine. My name is Erica Spencer. I want to check my the general delivery.
Okay.
And she said general delivery and packages, I guess, because I guess you can check.
Erica Spencer?
Yeah, please.
Let me see your ID.
Give you a copy. I guess wherever I could get something delivered, check every area.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
If you're getting general delivery, I know where to check.
Okay.
Spencer. Perfect. Let me look and see what we have. We'll go to the...
Okay.
This is my last piece. I could possibly see if you have anything.
And it's okay if I come check it, like...
You can check it as often as you want.
Okay, but...
It just, sometimes it takes about 2 weeks or so for your mail to start coming through.
Mm-hmm.
7 to 10 days normally when you do the change of address.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll get normally a card after that. Okay, no.
Okay, thank you for checking.
Yeah, okay.
Have a good one.
This
is Criminal Summoner. They're monitoring with the people. 1706923, vehicle 1123. This is under the fake sun, which is not anywhere near OVITT Family Community Library. This is 1015 East Holt Boulevard, Pacific Tire, and they're gang stalking. The gang stalking and construction workers are in the middle of the street maintaining light activity, monitoring with their communication devices. As you're seeing me capture Amazon Prime, Southwest Airlines, the Ontario International Airport is gang stalking, keeping in alignment through the sky space. The Ontario Police Department are gang stalking on the roads and the highways. And this is the entity that's continuously engaged in that P.O.C. The police department is being disbanded because of the unlawful threat that they pose while they're engaging in gang violence with the people of the state. It's a threat to my life, while strangers to me, who are terrorists engaging in surveillance, they know who I am, but I don't know who they are, while they are stalking me with the police department, sharing in that conspiracy to commit murder. The entity has the fake sun over me, as I'm showing you, at Sinapec, on this same street, at 7:45 in the morning. It's currently 10:28 a.m. The entity has the fake sun over the entrance of the OVITT Family Community Library, and the entity has it over me right here at 1015 East Holt Boulevard, where the Ontario Police are stalking me by use, again, like they were last night, using the vehicles of the Ontario Police Department, engaging what is the use of lights and sirens, and stalking in helicopter, while they're doing nothing other than criminal activity, and they're enabling a population. That's exactly why that police department is being disbanded, aside from kidnapping me over and over and over again. This is P.O.C. It is currently 10:28 a.m. Pacific Tire. This is the facilitating venue. All right, it is currently 10:52 a.m. And first of all, number one, as you can see, the Ontario Police stalking on the roads and the highways. That's federal stalking Title 18, Section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2. In the engineer, okay, it's not sunlight that everything is covered in. And it's also not the sun. I'm here where this is a stalker. They're stalking, okay? They're stalking with regard to what is a government system. And they're doing so while they merely operate their devices. A psychopath, a vagina monitor looks the opposite way, while you are the reason that they're here. And you know all of that, even in their silence, because a fake sun is hovering over my head. The fake sun that's over me at the same Civic Center, when that OVITT Family Community Library, that's the entrance, during the 7 a.m. hour, okay, where the Ontario International Airport is very much engaged in tracking my steps, stalking me as I'm going up and down Holt Boulevard, doing so while the entity kept their fake sun, and 3 hours later, here it is, as though it's rising, so it's somewhere in the distance from Las Vegas, Nevada, for, let's just say that, but here it is over me at the same venue where it's approaching the same exact entrance, and this is the entity feigning a sunrise at the same OVITT Family Community Library. This is the criminal conduct proven under the fake sun by Paul Leon, who was being federally prosecuted. This is the fake sun moving. This is Exhibit A. It's going to move to the opposite side of this building. This is called crossing path. And this is what vagina monitors do while they're engaging in that state system on behalf of the government. The government can't keep you under surveillance without the population. That's Securitas, the demonic pattern of conduct, which is relevant to criminal surveillance light activity in this engineered light. This is the entity that has the fake sun over me at 12:51 p.m. And the entity's doing so while the fake sun's in alignment to me at that entrance of the OVITT Family Community Library during the 7 a.m. hour, where the entity is going to be at a loss. There will be no police department, fire department. There will be no Paul Leon in office. This is the entity that's engaging in what is domestic terrorism and calling himself a mayor. He's engaged in vagina monitoring, keeping my vagina under surveillance inside of this building where the fake sun is still here after 4 p.m. Okay, all angles show that Paul Leon is a gang stalker. And no gang stalker will be maintaining any office in any city hall in any of the states, okay? This is exposing homegrown terrorists, threats to the United States, those that openly expose themselves and reveal themselves and demonstrate the threat that they are, the animosity that they hold, the hostility that they have toward these United States, toward American citizens and their rights and the enforcement of their rights. This is the impossible that the sun would still be while it's rising. And here it is over me while I'm walking toward the same entrance. At 3 hours later, after we're coming toward 11 a.m. Securitas was gang stalking then, and this mophead demon is gang stalking now. Under the fake sun, it's sexual assault and battery. At nightfall, when they're molesting with a golf cart, it's sexual assault and battery. This is P.O.C. All right? That's the pattern of conduct, and that's the government that's gang stalking. That's not a city hall. That's the entity full of demons, okay? And demons, as I've shown you, are unfit to be in office. This is P.O.C. This is the entity that's engaging with criminal summoning while you're crossing paths, stalking as a population. That's the significance of the fake sun. You see the purpose of the fake sun, as it is proven to, in fact, be a fake sun. And this is the entity that committed kidnapping on behalf of the hostile demons of the Chino Police, the City of Chino, the Upland Police, the City of Upland, the Pomona Police, the City of Pomona. The entity that's gang stalking the Colton and Rialto police, the city of Colton and Rialto, who, by the way, will never have any son in any of those cities, contrary to what my documentation shows while I'm being targeted under the fake son. This is the P.O.C. And the entity that's engaged in surveillance, those psychopaths are engaging in what is the criminal use of emergency vehicles, and they're going to be snatched out of those positions. They run people down in the middle of the street and call it them going toward what is an emergency, which then relieves them of responsibility, while those same terrorist leaders then claim that they're conducting an investigation. There are no investigations under the fake son. They're monitoring. This is P.O.C. Demons that are monitoring also don't investigate anything. They know what's going on. They're engaging what is monitoring you, that's satanic, and they're also engaged in surveilling you through the criminal use and abuse of technology that is unlawful under the state and federal constitutions. This is P.O.C. And this is where the fake son is aiming toward me through these same windows where a bunch of vagina monitors are stalking inside of a library in concert with the gang stalking mayor and gang stalking companies like Securitas. That's a psychopath while she's pacing back and forth in Engineer Light. Their demon possession is exhibited in this specific environment. This is P.O.C. It's currently, by the way, 10:56 a.m. Look at the fake sun while I'm at this same entrance at 7. It's not a sunrise, and that's not lawful conduct. I'm going to prosecute the company Securitas, and I'm going to prosecute the people of the state. The government is already prosecuted. This is P.O.C. All right, I just want you to watch how this fake sun is traveling above me. And then you're going to recall evidence like the entity having the fake sun at 8:38 a.m. while Jay Sandoval of the gang members of the Ontario Police are engaged in what is criminal summoning, proven through that environment that you are no longer ignorant about. They were engaging in that relevant to what is stalking another person, threatening another person, psychologically torturing another person. Doing so while this fake sun is still here, while I'm standing at this same entrance, the same location. I'm walking, this is the same path I was at 3 hours earlier, over 3 hours earlier. This is an environment conducive for surveillance. And they are surveilling the genitalia of American citizens. The government is a sex offender. The people of the state are sex offenders. This is P.O.C. This is relevant to federal prison for the entity that's acting with impunity at the OVITT Family Community Library. All right, that's the entity that's engaged in that. This is light activity by a child. This is federal stalking using a child. The exploitation while they're pacing with demons that are stalked with impossible light. The mentally ill are unfit to be in custody of children while you have a population sharing in it, and it's facilitated by a government. This is the necessity of what is martial law. Okay, this is an entity that is absurdly mentally ill. Their infection is demon possession, and it is relevant to what is the public corruption, federal group stalking and monitoring, criminal surveillance, which is a fact in the United States. P.O.C. Right, it's February 6, 2026, and it's currently 12:18 p.m. The entity that is engaging in the pattern of conduct, the more that you expose those who are in fact demon possessed, the more comfortable the demons become in being their true mentally ill selves. And that's why you have the entity that has Engineer Light no longer trying to be present in a manner that you're not supposed to pay attention to, you're not supposed to notice. I do notice it, and I point it out, and I document in order to prosecute, because it's a pattern of conduct. While the supernatural is hidden in plain sight, all I've done is remove the veil regarding the illusions of what's supposed to appear as normalcy, and there's absolutely nothing normal about the environment nor the people in that environment. They're all demons, okay? And they're engaged in criminal activity, all of them, every single last one of them. And the entity is engaging what is maintaining Engineer Light inside of the library, and the entity is doing so with regard to demons who are hostile because they have all been exposed. And while the entity has what is a threatening environment, impossible light activity, shooting at me, okay, impossible light activity, cascading across the ceiling in the same way that I've already shown you this light activity inside of the Fontana Lewis Library, inside of the Chino Branch Library, inside of this OVITT Family Community Library in Ontario, where I'm showing you the light activity in the evening, the orange light that's appearing on both sides in the depths of the building. And I guess that's supposed to be, not I guess, it is not, but the mentally ill are severely incompetent. And so you have what is the asininity of the Engineer Light that I'm capturing images of, which is proof that they are all vagina monitors, in addition to the fact that they're demon-possessed vagina monitors. And the evidence has shown the pattern of conduct. The more that you are exposing the demon-possessed, the more that the demon-possessed are more comfortably showing their true colors. And that's what I want to document. 12:20 p.m. a vagina monitor comes and sits right next to me. That's conspicuous surveillance. That's the same criminal activity that the entirety of the venue, including Mickey, who's here gang stalking. So is Yesenia. You'll see her stalking me, a vagina monitor that wants to be in the path while she's monitoring my vagina the entire time inside of that bathroom. You'll see her images of being a gang stalker who is a hostile sex offender and likes to engage in sexually violent means of psychological torture, so that public needs to know that she is indeed a closeted homosexual obsessed with a woman's vagina, and she's engaging in that while I went right outside to show you the fake sun, the ongoing scientific evidence to put sex offenders like Yesenia in federal prison. Okay, the entity's engaging in that while on the inside of the library, engineer light is flying all about, and the entity is engaging in this pattern of conduct while a bunch of demons are sitting inside of the library, and they're engaging in surveillance in that environment. And just for your reminder, I will attach in the description box for the podcast today, February 6, 2026, evidence inside of the Fontana Lewis Library where you're seeing the impossible light activity, and evidence inside of the Chino Branch Library regarding the impossible light activity where this entity is stalking. And stalking is proven through that supernatural environment that is sitting right in front of your face, where everyone in there is demon possessed and they're monitoring you and you're ignorant about it. Excuse me. I'm going to show you what is the impossible light activity inside of the Fontana Lewis Library, and its reference to an example of the pattern of conduct that I've shown at all venues. I'm showing the light activity inside of the grocery store, flying through the air, being molested while you're being monitored while you're going to the neighborhood grocery store. The same light activity, the pattern of conduct inside of the neighborhood Starbucks. The same light activity, the pattern of conduct at every hotel that I stay at. The same pattern of conduct while the entity is gang stalking on the roads and the highways. Okay, this is what's going on inside of a building, and this is relevant to Sean Thrasher. He is not different. This is a demon that likes to wear tacky clothing while he paces around, maintaining a position as a director. That's directly informing what everybody else, even under his position, is subject to, and it is federal prison all the way around. I just want to be clear. There's no hierarchy with regard to demons. There's no hierarchy with regard to vagina monitors. They are all scum. They're all perverts. They're all demons. They're all gang stalkers. Okay, so I do want to document that the entities engaging in this, and I am in the role of what is serving to diagnose the mentally ill who are terrorizing American citizens in the U.S. And the mentally ill have shown me their condition, and I am showing you what is wrong with them while they engage in criminal activity, which you are no longer ignorant about. You can put a finger on it, and you can put a title to it, and it can be prosecuted in any federal tribunal. This is P.O.C. It's February 6, 2026. The entity is keeping me under surveillance as a statewide pattern of conduct while a fake sun remains over the OVITT Family Community Library, where no sunlight, where Yesenia is pacing inside of the building with regard to focusing on my vagina and not on ongoing inhumane sex offense that she shares with everyone inside of the venue. The entity is engaging in that with impunity, and doing so, in other words, I'm monitoring vagina and doing so with the ongoing means and intent to harass and terrorize, while the entity is doing the same thing by helicopter. What's the war zone that I'm walking into last night? And those demons are going to prison. Okay, this is a war zone inside of the OVITT Family Community Library, and you know where demons go? Demons that engage in terrorism, they go to prison. That's exactly where they're going. You are engaging in terrorism, terrorists go to federal prison. This is P.O.C. It's 12:24 p.m.
This is P.O.C. That's a fake sun, and that is the terrorist Southwest. And Southwest Airlines, and so are the people of the state. You know what this address is? The address where these demons are creating impossible light inside of the street while they're stalking in the path. This is the terrorist, license 9EDS110, gang stalking at his facilitating venue where he lives, doing so at what is 4:07 p.m. 503 West D Street is gang stalking me with the rest of these demons under the fake sun at 8 o'clock in the morning. This is the pattern of conduct. These are the immigrants that are getting deported. These are the gang stalking so-called parents that are losing custody of minor children who are gang stalkers in California. They're terrorists and they're sex offenders under the age of majority, which the government and corrupt companies like the sex offender Southwest Airlines are perfectly comfortable with. 8GIN 756, 8UDN 854, 7NEC 316, 6PLY 058. License These are demons. This is the same intersection. This is the population. This is the neighborhood engaged in criminal summoning, keeping your vagina under surveillance, threatening your life, kidnapping you, 7 NEC 316, defaming your character, criminally summoning, all right, while they're engaged in what is harassing you because you document them keeping your genitalia under surveillance because they're stalking you. License 7LRL 362. And the video evidence is going to serve for what is the federal government that has the jurisdiction under the law to clean out, gut out this the entity that's engaged in the pattern of conduct, the gang stalking, the terrorists that live in the neighborhood. 29063T3. This is federal stalking on the roads and the highways. It's absolutely unlawful. There is no warrant or probable cause. There's no legitimate interest for what is surveillance that the people of the state are engaged in. And these are the demon possessed and they're mentally ill. 8XYB858, unstable psychopath. 6Y KU187, unstable psychopath, and it's the same with every other gang stalking company, including Southwest Airlines. Gang stalking me at 513 West D Street. That's the same venue where I'm at, where the demons operating Ontario Montclair School District school buses are terrorizing with impossible light, dragging all across this street. Remember that video evidence? Remember the Ontario police gang stalking by helicopter right here at this same block in the morning? This is the fake sun. They're stalking where they're living. They're gang stalking on the roads and the highways. They're doing it with minor children. They're doing it with the government and corrupt companies, the airport on Southwest Airlines. This is P.O.C. And this is terrorism that's being federally prosecuted. Okay, nobody's going to be crying for gang stalking immigrants in California. It's called judgment. This is P.O.C. This is Stalking. And this is the James R. Bryant Park. This is the fake sun. This is where I'm documenting Daisy gang stalking at this intersection, which is San Antonio and D Street, where the fake sun is still remaining to me. That's the fake sun, and that's where lying miles away from the airport, hovering right here at an upward trajectory, like as though you're taking off right here. And this is upon leaving the OVITT Family Community Library, where the entity keeps this fake sun. You can't see this through the doors of the OVITT Family Community Library, nor would the sun be even in the same city. This is down the same street, bigger picture, but it wouldn't even be, like I've already captured, visible outside of the front doors of the OVITT Family Community Library, having quote-unquote sunlight, engineered light on the floor in the depths of that library. When I'm showing you that fake sun while I'm at that same library at 7 in the morning, and then back at that library arriving at 10 in the morning. This is the entity that, again, while it's in the same city, off of the same block, Florida never had any sunlight, never had the object itself. While the entity is engaging in this conduct, this is the P.O.C. That's the Ontario International Airport that's gang stalking. The people of the state are engaging in surveillance. That's what's proven in California. And while California is engaging in criminal surveillance as demons, all right, this is the demonic environment, and these are the demon-possessed engaging in demonic activity, and it is criminal surveillance. This is letting you know what all the rest of the states are and what they're doing. There's only one sun, and the entity is keeping a fake sun over me in one city, in one region, all right, on between what is a radius. I'm literally at like 3 or 4 streets in one city where the fake sun is remaining from morning until evening. That's the pattern of conduct. It's 4:38 p.m. at the James Bryant Park. If you'll recall, the stalker at 9 a.m. with no license plate, he's engaging in surveillance, and he's doing so while being parked in the path, stalking in the path. A whole city is stalking you and maintaining presence in your path, which is what this is, and it's supposed to appear as normalcy. It's surveillance under that fake sun, and they're engaging in surveillance at 9 o'clock in the morning, where the fake sun wouldn't be over this same park, like I'm documenting. I documented that 9 a.m. This is that same park. This is P.O.C. It is currently 4:39 p.m. That's UPS. That's the fake sun. This is D Street. Remember when UPS is dipping behind the Ontario Town Square Amphitheater like they're landing? Hovering behind the downtown Ontario luxury apartments? Flying, hovering. This is hovering through the neighborhood. This is the pattern of conduct. This is 566. This is D Street. This is the same street where I'm capturing the fake sun. This is Beverly. I'm here in the morning, Flora and Beverly, where the entity is gang stalking. Walking through this neighborhood at 7 in the morning. This is the pattern of conduct. The people of the state are engaged in surveillance, and the fact of criminal surveillance amongst the population, not just the government. The people are the government that's sharing in surveillance is a fact. Proven beyond a reasonable doubt. It's proven to scientific degree. All right, this is P.O.C. 4:45 p.m. The entity stalking with the fake sun, and everybody else that is moving as that fake sun moves over me is stalking. including as I drive by, or well, yes, when I'm in vehicles, I've documented that, but including, in other words, as I am subject to crossing path, as I walk by, they're facilitating venus, they're engaging in surveillance. The entity is tracking your steps. The entity is keeping you under surveillance everywhere that you're going. Okay, that's the P.O.C. It's not a private residence. Engineer light is all over that house, and it's not the sun, nor is it sunlight. It's the environment where surveillance is underway. P.O.C. This is the entity that engaged in what is theft of my property, threw away my sleeping bag, and threw away my blankets so that I can be cold outside while they're stalking me around the city, keeping me under surveillance, and then they're referring to the municipal code while they're stalking me. They're referring to San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department while they are stalking. And they're doing so with these hostile demons that are in the neighborhood, monitoring where they live. 9 U.S.T. 045 at 524 D Street in Ontario, California, under the fake sun at 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning, where vagina monitors drive school buses and are gang stalking with the government. That's on video, as I'm capturing now, not only in the morning under this fake sun on the same block, but also all right, the video evidence that you just listened to, by the way, it's currently 4:51 p.m. This is video evidence of the government that's literally engaged in what is following from place to place, and that is punctuated by a fake sun that's remaining over me on the same street. License plate, by the way, 6U0R730 are stalking with that government that's maintaining aerial surveillance. So they're crossing path at D Street and Fern while the fake sun's at the intersection. On video, the entity is stalking in a dark gray helicopter. And then moments later, the entity is stalking in the infamous blue and white helicopter, maintaining presence on what is, while I'm walking in the direction east, is on what is the south side of my person. On the north side of my person while I'm walking east on D Street. And the entity is doing so while this fake sun is remaining over me. Remember that the entity is keeping the fake sun while I'm at 503 West D Street, which I mentioned in the video, at 7, 8 in the morning. So you have the demon-possessed gang stalking school bus drivers that are under the fake sun and engaging in criminal surveillance, gang stalking while they're en route to schools and driving children around, children that are gang stalking, children that are engaging, sharing in surveillance, children that are sharing in terrorism with the government that facilitates and enables and relies on it. They are stalking in helicopters while they're stalking in the school buses, and they're stalking with impossible light. This is that same street, 503 West D Street, is a landmark where the fake sun is over me. The airport is stalking in the morning under that fake sun. The fake sun is over me. The Ontario police are stalking under that fake sun. And the entity literally is engaging in what is kidnapping on February 4th, 2026. Craig Hazelwood, the violence that I'm capturing, while they are threatening to engage in violence if I don't get out of my sleeping bag, while they're engaging in what is stalking me. Just like I'm documenting now, they are stalking while they're referring to what is a section of the municipal code that does not apply. And it also doesn't apply because they are engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring criminal surveillance. And the entity is engaging in that barefaced terrorism, that barefaced criminal conduct, that barefaced threatening behavior and conduct with the people of the state. While the evidence is published on the video of the internet, this is relevant to what the federal government is not doing. This is relevant to those who are going to federal prison for stealing my money. This is over money that Tracy Banks and Jason Fields intended to profit from, and everyone that bore false witness in court hearings that I was not informed about, while the gang stalkers of the United States Postal Service, in the same way that the pattern of conduct has shown that the gang stalking couriers, mail carriers are engaging in surveillance. So they're engaging in what is misdirecting mail and not knowing where you're at. It's an illusion. You are under surveillance in the United States. The United States Postal Service is a very heavily documented gang stalker, and they are sharing in what is theft of my property, concealing court hearings, while the government, the Ontario Police Department, just like I'm documenting on February 4th, are repeatedly kidnapping me in order to maintain, create, engineer defamatory paper trail while they're engaging in what is kidnapping and then putting it on paper, on the record that is, as I'm violating the municipal code, I'm trespassing, I'm harassing people, I'm molesting children. This is what the Ontario Police Department have engaged in. They're going to federal prison for these things. Everybody having anything to do with what is housing me at West Valley Detention Center, housing me at Central Detention Center, housing me at Glen Helen Rehabilitation Center, engaging what is housing me at the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court, engaging what is exercising fictitious authority in the courtrooms of these gang stalking courts. engaging in what is housing me inside of, well, kidnapping me at the Ontario Police Department, which is what the entity has been doing as of late, because they want to keep me there and pace around me. Those demons in particular want to masturbate while they pace all around me at the Ontario Police Station, and then engage in what is federal stalking on the roads and the highways, and exchange hands, engaging in kidnapping with San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, physically sharing in what is the unlawful confinement pursuant to federal stalking. The entities engaging with San Bernardino County is a kidnapper, regardless of whether they exchange hands, because San Bernardino County is the entity. Okay, so, but San Bernardino County is more than just the entity that's sharing in the criminal system. They are physically sharing and kidnapping me, sharing in sexual assault and battery, sharing in criminal defamation, sharing in what is the exercise of fictitious authority. All of that is relevant with regard to the videos that you just listened to. You have Alex Escobar, who's under the fake sun at the U.S. Bank. This is the same D Street. Look at Google Maps. This is the same D Street where the this demon is under the fake sun at 12:51 in the afternoon, and during the 9 a.m. hour where the Ontario police are flying in circles over the U.S. Bank. And the entity has the fake sun over the West Valley detention. So this is all the big pictures. I can give example after example, in other words, of the stalkers who are the demon-possessed Ontario so-called police. And they are providing what is ongoing evidence, and doing so flagrantly while I'm walking back to the OVITT Family Community Library, where the entity is hovering over the James Bryant Park. But yet you're hovering down as though you're landing and taking off over the housing community at the Chevron and the ARCO parking lot. And this is the entity. The airport is at 2500 Airport Road, and I'm showing where the terminals are at in my video documentation, while Omnitrans Route 61 travels across that property. And so does the fake sun over my head through the window of that bus, any bus that I get on. All right, this is where the entity is engaging in that. This is directly informing, the federal judge that is sentencing these kidnappers that are prosecuting terrorists such as Paul Leon, such as third party 8JLD 479, such as Mike Lorenz, such as Craig, Hazelwood, and Owens, the people of the state that are sharing in criminal summoning, such as Daisy of the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library, the demons of the Economy Inn, okay, while they're engaged in that pattern of conduct. Just giving you an example, a plethora of examples with regard to the iterations of kidnapping. This is what the federal courts, what federal law, what federal judges are mindful of, because the Ontario police are the reason for the population sharing in what is violence. And this is all relevant to who are going to federal prison at the top is Jason Fields and Tracy Banks. Okay, this is an entity that's also doing so relevant to surveillance of evidence that's being published on the internet. And then you have them gang stalking me in the interim while I'm publishing that evidence. 9LTK278, a vagina monitor stalking on behalf of the Ontario police, who are doing so by helicopters, terrorizing and psychologically harming, threatening. Okay, while somebody that's repeatedly kidnapping you is always still stalking you, that's a threat to repeat that very conduct. While you're speaking to devices under the law that you don't even have legitimately, with regard to stalking, you're talking about referring to what is a warrant. That's speaking to kidnapping and a threat to kidnap, exercise of fictitious authority by San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. That's a gang stalker. A bunch of demons, and also the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court, whoever's issuing a warrant, who's ever seeking to enforce some warrant, for the demons to even utter it as audible activity, which is on video. You're talking about prosecuting the Ontario Police Department's co-defendants. They don't have authority, and they don't have authority while they lock hands, sharing in the pattern of conduct, kidnapping together. That's what's relevant when they are stalking in the blue and white helicopter and the gray helicopter while I'm walking east on D Street after 4 p.m. while I'm in the same street, and I'm literally at these addresses on these streets in the neighborhoods of the gang stalkers, the people of the state, in the morning, walking to Stater Brothers. And the fake sun is rising and it's remaining over me through that same neighborhood. This is the same neighborhood. And as I refer to, pay attention, because everything that the entity does is focused on me. Because the entity is the stalkers, so the Ontario police are always stalking, and they're stalking now, by the way. But the entity is engaging in what is stalking specifically, which is very foolish as a matter of evidence. So not only am I speaking to and reminding you, oh, okay, so this is what I documented, play the tape back and listen to what I said about the Ontario police, which is a fact. This is what they did. We play the video in court regarding what they're doing under the fake sun at 8 o'clock in the morning and what they're doing under the fake sun at that same address, that same street, that same neighborhood at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You're talking about what is stalking by a department, using the most extreme means, terrorism, using helicopters, doing so while they are keeping evidence in real time under surveillance, and it is informing real-time acts of retaliation. Foolish conduct, which is supposed to be psychological torture tactics. And there is no such thing as retaliation when it's being documented and you're going to prison and you're going to mental wards for the absurdly psychotic means of stalking somebody, and then the way in which it's documented proving it. There's no question regarding their mental illness. All right, so this is the entity that's engaging in that psychopathic pattern of conduct, and they're doing so with the Ontario International Airport license plate. Downtown Ontario Luxury Apartments, 8504 5G2. Crossing path under the fake sun that's supposed to be seen through the front entry doors of the OVITT Family Community Library, yet it's over me at 503 West D Street, D as in dog. And it's over me at 503 West D Street in the morning when that same neighborhood full of immigrants, full of those who are guardians in custodial capacity regarding minor children who are such as the school bus drivers, okay, such as the parents with they have children in the vehicles, just like the demons that come to the OVITT Family Community Library. They're holding the hands of children while they're engaging in vagina monitoring at the same time. You're looking at violence all over the surveillance cameras. You're looking at violence all over the traffic cameras in California while they're engaging in surveillance and the ways in which they do so. And it's exposing that the entity is engaging in stalking by helicopter while I am documenting the fact that that entire neighborhood is fully exposed to being raided door to door. Based on the conduct, the terrorism that that neighborhood has shown itself to be engaging in. Stalking with impossible light, they're not just stalking as they're inside of their homes. Oh, no. They're coming out, standing and sharing in that P.O.C, crossing path, molesting with impossible light, harassing, and doing so while the entity is stalking by plane and helicopter. They are fully engaging and maintaining a war zone, and that is a neighborhood, that is a people that are going to be subject to prosecution as terrorists, and terrorists go to prison. Terrorists are deported out of the country, and terrorists are removed from having any access to children. This is the entity, as I'm showing you, the ways in which they're engaging in that pattern of conduct, and that's relevant to the entity stalking by helicopter in the way that you just heard. This is the P.O.C. All right, the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library is filled with that which is not sunlight. By the way, this is already known when I sit in that building all day long. The sun is over me at the same entrance at 7 this morning. So you're looking at what is the ongoing accessories to surveillance while demons sit in engineer light that's on the ceiling in the morning, all over the walls, and everyone's oblivious to it. And in the floors on both sides in the depths of that library, and the demons are walking all over it, monitoring with the demons that are stalking in planes, in blue and white helicopter, and in dark gray helicopter, the Ontario Police Department, who's sharing kidnapping. Everybody in this building shared in kidnapping on February 4th, 2026, and they're together maintaining criminal surveillance, and that's relevant to the ways in which this entity is going to be dissected and federally prosecuted regarding the unprecedented terrorism that a community, a people are engaging in together. All right, the Ontario police aren't engaged in law enforcement, and they're going to be treated and prosecuted as the terrorists that they are. Terrorists don't get any retirement. Terrorists do not get a 401k. Terrorists do not get any means of compensation upon being relieved from duties while they are engaging in the pattern of conduct of gang stalking. All right, this is the P.O.C. It's 5:04 p.m. and you'll see the images of engineer light on the floor. You'll see it while they're walking by the book stacks. You'll see in the depths of the library, and this is the same library where it's outside. I'm standing at the same entrance doors during the 7 a.m. hour. Yeah, that's not the sun and it's not sunlight, and it followed me from here to the James Bryant Park and back on that street where the entity is stalking me by helicopters and stalking by commercial planes, Southwest Airlines and UPS in particular, while the people of the state are gang stalking, while the Ontario International Airport maintains planes hovering over the people of the state. That is them engaging in that pattern of conduct with the government. This is P.O.C. It's currently 5:04 p.m. Tracy Banks and Jason Fields and Eric Spencer, etc., the demons that have engaged in defaming my character are all going to federal prison. They're terrorists, and they engaged in terrorism against me under the false premise that you could defame someone else and that would establish what are the elements to prove mental illness by merely bearing false witness and having absolutely no factual information while you engage in criminal activity, and that in and of itself is supposed to establish and create what is mental illness, and that is merely for the corrupt purposes of the government that is sharing in that criminal pattern of conduct. And that's why you have that sort of that level of unprecedented deceitfulness
the government shares in it, because the government's not being deceived. The government knows who I am. The government knows who's misrepresenting their identity as me. The government knows what is your mental state. The government knows as it's spiritually attacking you, okay, spiritually attacking you in ways in which people do not discuss, as they disregard the spiritual realm while they are operating in that spiritual realm at the same time, okay, and then referring to it as mental illness while they are spiritually attacking you. This is prosecution of an entity that's engaging in terrorism. While they are spiritually attacking, it's referred to as gang stalking. And everyone sees that it is very real, as it's proven with tangible evidence, and that tangible evidence is going to be used for not only criminal prosecution, but for the diagnosis of that demon-possessed entity. It is currently 5:06 p.m. This is P.O.C.
This is terrorism by the people. This is federal prison. License plate 7TZP277. They're all coming around to engage in sexual assault. 8UHH617. They're tracking my step as I walk out, and they're engaging in the ceremonial sexual assault and battery as a gang. Okay, this is what the entity is going to federal prison for. This is what the entity is being disbanded for. This is what the entity is going to be prosecuted as sex offenders for. This is gang violence, and this is the conspiracy to murder, and it's psychological torture. The government's going to be prosecuted for it. And Paul Leon is being prosecuted. The city hall has a fake sun over it for the duration of the day, and he's sharing in and facilitating violence. The airport has no flights here. The airport has no flights that are going to be over 503 West D Street. This is tracking my steps, and it's also vagina monitoring. Okay, P.O.C. Upon the exit of the gang stalker, OVITT Family Community Library. It is currently 6:01 p.m. This is criminal summoning. Audible activity, light activity, relevant positioning. They're driving an engineer light. This is P.O.C. That's a gang stalking fire department. Michael GERKEN is engaged in criminal surveillance. He's a violent sex offender using fire trucks to engage in the sex offense with the Ontario Police Department. This is criminal summoning. P.O.C. Gang stalking fire departments. Gang stalking fire departments, vehicle 1122. Sharing in the pattern of conduct of stalking with light. Those are demons. That's demon possession. The demon possession fills the Ontario Police Department. Demon possession fills the Ontario Fire Department, and they're engaging in what is stalking me in particular. Remember, I'm showing you the entity that is stalking upon my exit of the OVITT Family Community Library, where these demons are molesting with that which is not headlights, engineer light. In the environment where the entity is sounding sirens, it's audible activity. Where they're using their lights, it's light activity while they are monitoring. And they're monitoring at what is Wells Fargo, 240 North Euclid Avenue, and downtown Ontario luxury apartments, fake sunrise and setting at 320 North Euclid Avenue. That's P.O.C. The fire department is stalking, engaging in the conspiracy to commit murder with the demons of the Ontario Police Department. P.O.C. This is the entity that's stalking by airplane and then crossing a path, crossing a path, crossing a path, crossing a path. The demons are stalking by a fire department and police lights and sirens, crossing a path, crossing a path, crossing a path. It's P.O.C. It's currently 6:29 p.m. This is surveillance. Yeah, there's no takeoffs over here. This is this same Ontario Village Shopping Center, and engineer light covers everything. And this is exposing the ongoing psychotic obsession with stalking that is underway by the government, the United States government. The United States government that's practicing gang stalking is severely mentally ill, and this is exposing what is closeted mental illness that's shared amongst the population in the U.S., and I'm exposing it in California. He's stalking. His shadow is dancing around his person, then two appear. He's a demon, and he's stalking me. And he accomplishes that merely by walking by in the engineer light, which is psychopathic pacing occurring collectively, while they are all focusing on me, where I'm at, knowing where I'm at. And that knowledge is shared by what is during the day the fake sun over my head, and also the entity that is stalking by planes and helicopters over me in relevant position. That environment and the government's conduct is showing what the psychopaths who are supposed to be strangers, and you're supposed to be imagining it. That whole idiotic and unpersuasive system is fully exposed, and they're going to be diagnosed and federally prosecuted. This is terrorism in the U.S. The entity is flying over the parking lot area where I'm at, the back parking lot of the Ontario Village Shopping Center. This is P.O.C. It is currently 8:09 p.m. In the United States of America, the U.S. government is monitoring the genitalia of a woman that does not consent to it and is exceedingly hostile and engages in more sexual violence and calls itself a police department, calls itself a government, a governing body, a population, society, while they engage in that. And so this is inevitably embarrassing. And the demon-possessed that are engaging in this are doing so with regard to a level of desperation that was always there. You're able to see that bare bones, stripped down desperation now while the demons are forced to expose what they are and what they're doing, because that's what this is. It is the P.O.C. It's currently 8:10 p.m. This is the same parking lot where the airport is stalking. The Ontario police are following the same pattern, stalking where I'm located, and this is the Ontario Village Shopping Center. Why they're not flying over the parking lot, over the front, over the HOLT Boulevard, flying in circles while I'm at the storefront? Because I'm at the back, and that's why they are stalking where the airport maintains no flights coming from Ontario International Airport. That's the police stalking. That's the city of Ontario. The airport is stalking. That's the city of Ontario. The people of the state are stalking. It's the city of Ontario. This is the prosecution of the state of California that's engaging in the United States government's criminal pattern of conduct, and it includes stalking by chief of police. This is what Mike LORENZ is being prosecuted for stalking, and the plethora of videos proving that he is stalking me as a pattern of conduct shared by the Ontario Police Department and every other city and county that are engaging in what is criminal surveillance and not law enforcement. The entity is engaging in what is terrorism and psychological torture, harassment, with the intent also to obstruct justice, because Mike LORENZ commits this ongoing documented violence as he keeps the evidence that I capture under surveillance as well. This is the entity that's engaging in what is demonic behavior, light activity, audible activity, and relevant positioning. These are all my shadows. The Ontario Police Department are demon possessed, and these are demons that are obsessed with me. These are demons that are stalking me, and these are demons that fill the government and fill the population. The demon possessed are engaged in surveillance, and they clearly do so with no regard for the fact that they are going to federal prison. They are going to be disbanded. They are going to be prosecuted as terrorists in the U.S., and that does not stop what is a psychopath such as Mike LORENZ and all the psychopaths of that department that commit the violent act like what you see at 5 o'clock in the morning by Craig Hazelwood and Owens engaging in kidnapping. This is P.O.C. It's currently 8:27 p.m. Is clearly stalking, knows exactly where I'm at, and is focused on the parking lot behind the grocery store. Why is the entity maintaining helicopter activity at the back parking lot area of the grocery store? Because they're stalking. Just like they are everywhere else. That's why they fly over in circles for over an hour over the bus stop, because they're stalking. And it's 10:03 p.m. where the entity is hovering over the grocery store, P.O.C.